All right. Good evening, distinguished citizens of the United States. You've seen the headline: Pentagon to use 130 million anonymous donation to help pay the troops. The Pentagon recently said it's accepted that money under its general gift acceptance authority, and that the donor conditioned it to offset the cost of service members' salaries and benefits. That's a great and patriotic gesture worthy of passing memes to all of our friends about it, patting everyone on the back and feeling good about this great patriotic thing. And after we're done with that, it's time for a civics lesson, which I'm about to give you now. This is a great idea with poor execution. Constitution, let's start with that. Article 1, Section 9, unambiguous. Says no money shall be drawn from the Treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law. That's the power of the purse. That's Congress. We swore an oath to support and defend this thing. Boom. Let's keep that in our mind from here on. The Anti Deficiency Act double taps it. 31 USC 1341 says an officer may not make or authorize an expenditure or obligation exceeding an amount available in an appropriation or fund. Right now, in the fiscal year of our Lord 2026, which began on 1 October, there is $0 appropriated for mil pay, military pay. The DoD does have a gift fund, absolutely, and that's where these funds landed. This fund absolutely cannot be used for mill pay. Um, this is for like museum pieces, schools, DoD schools, wounded warriors to get where they need to be going, and flowers for grieving widows. It's the DoD's Cup and Flower Fund, not $130 million pot that could be used for soldier pay. No, no way. Even if this were physically possible to get this money directly to troops from the Cup and Flower Fund, federal ethics rules cap the gifts. This is definitely a gift, right? At $20 per occasion and $50 per year, and no cash, zero cash. I took military ethics or government ethics training every year for 20 years, and some of y'all were in the same class as me. And in that same class, we also learned a quote from the legal standards found in 5 CFR 2635. Employees shall endeavor to avoid any actions creating the appearance that they are violating the law or the ethical standards set forth. Even if lawyers smarter than us say that it's technically legal, our ethics code demands more. And to any reasonable American, the image of a private donor writing a $130 million check to cover military salaries looks like impropriety, looks like the potential setup for a quid pro quo. And well, what's a reasonable American? I think a reasonable American would be the kind that posts memes about this up and down Facebook. So I scroll my Facebook, I see reasonable, hardworking Americans posting memes about this, and they truly believe that this $130 million is going to pay troop salaries. Okay. If it looks wrong, feels wrong, undermines the trust in how our government handles money, I think that's got to be pretty close to the definition of unethical. It's highly irregular, and let's I can't say, oh, the president's breaking the law, somebody's breaking the law. That's not really my role. I want to say that as a civics lesson, this is what the Constitution and Anti-Deficiency Act say, and this doesn't look like it fits. So we're in the gutter. Let's pull ourselves out of the gutter now and talk other good civic things. How could this have been done, or how should it be done? Um, and name a good charitable civic alternative. I am, of course, speaking about the Army Emergency Relief Fund, which is classified as a military relief society. It has its own carve out in law that allows it to go and provide loans and grants to soldiers in distress, not affected by that $20, $50 rule. This thing uh, has been around forever. The Navy, the Air Force have their own. I'm an Army man. I like the Army. AER has a no interest loan up to $6,000, which is going to be real important here on November 1st if the worst happens. Um, and it's already, AER has already provided 10 million in relief to 7,500 service members since 1 October. AER, unlike the Cup and Flower Fund, has an existing apparatus for soldiers to apply for this thing, storage of funds. Uh, you know, last we could see in 2023, there was $350 million in AER's coffers, so they can handle 130 million, not a problem. They've got a board, a process to determine who's eligible, how much they should get, and why. And very important, they have fraud prevention. Okay, uh, why did the $130 million go from um, this private donor into the Cup and Flower Fund instead of a nice, well oiled, well administered machine specifically to get pay into soldier hands who are in distress? The administration is full of smart and capable people, but this looks like the skirting of normal processes. I don't want to say, I don't want to be sensationalist and be like, oh, it's illegal, it's legal. It is not normal. Let's say that it's not normal. I promise that the donor of this, who's doing this great and wonderful patriotic thing, um, wants that money to get into soldiers' hands in the best way possible. And it looks like that did not is not happening. All right, so my call to action is usually call Mike Johnson and tell him to get the House back in order and get their butts back to work. My call to action today is instead to support the troops. If you have the ability, go ahead and get on to AER or your other military relief society and drop a few dollars. If we all pitch in, it's definitely going to help. Uh, I'm fired up because the troops aren't getting paid. I'm fired up because we deserve better from our government. I dislike the red purse, blue purse swinging fight while everyone's suffering, and I'm that's my civic lesson. That's my call to action. Again, I'll stop here with a link to the Army Emergency Relief Fund. Go give a little something. Thanks.